What's up guys, I'm going to do another video talking about more details and leaked information and everything about Project Scorpio or the Xbox One Scorpio, whatever you want to call it. Regardless, we have a ton of information and leaks and news and stuff about this system, so let's just get right into it and get started. So the first thing is that the Scorpio will benefit those who have 1080p screens, so it won't be just a 4K device. Like it won't be exclusively for people with 4K TVs and 4K monitors, that people who have a 1080p monitor or TV will still see a huge improvement over the previous Xbox One and Xbox One S, and everything will look better. Games, movies, TV, any type of media, all apps, everything will look better. The Xbox One Scorpio, when it launches, will have Shader Model 6 or SM6, so it is an API for shading, and just in summary, will make games look better. So for 1080p screens, the Xbox One Scorpio will take advantage of super sampling and downsample everything from 4K to 1080p, so everything that you see will be refined from 4K, so the game will be rendered in 4K and then downsampled to 1080p, so there will basically be no aliasing, there will be no shimmering, any of this. It's like a brute force anti-aliasing, and will just make it look so much better. The PlayStation 4 Pro does this to an extent, but most games don't run it at native 4K, so the super sampling we see on there isn't that dramatic. And this will be at launch, so we don't have to wait for like a boost mode or anything, or for a patch on games, that this will just be coming at launch. The next thing is that the Scorpio has appeared on the Microsoft Store, but you can't buy it. It didn't give us really any details about it, whether like a price or a release date or anything. It just appears on the Microsoft Store saying Project Scorpio Holiday 2017, the most powerful console ever with 6 teraflops of graphical processing power. And so this leads us to believe that the system will be announced soon, it will be unveiled soon, and then more details will be come to follow. But they're just kind of getting everything ready, getting a listing ready, so that way when they do announce it, everything will be ready and set, and then we can just go. The next information and leaks and news and stuff we have about the Scorpio is that it will feature an internal power supply just like the Xbox One S, and it will have better game DVR support. It was pretty obvious and just kind of like assumed that the Project Scorpio will have an internal power supply just like the Xbox One S did, but it's never been confirmed or anything like this. This is basically just the confirmation that we need to know that the power supply will be built in. It's safe to say that the Scorpio will be bigger than the One S, so there will be space for better hardware and also a power supply, so we won't have an external power supply like we did with the original Xbox One. So that's a good thing. But the big part of this story is that the Project Scorpio will feature HEVC and VP9 codecs for 4K decoding streams, so like Netflix, and this is featured on the Xbox One S, but it will also leverage the HEVC encoding for 2160p or 4K 60 frames per second video for game DVR and streaming. So this means that when you do like Xbox record that, it'll record it at 4K 60 frames per second. Currently when you do it on the Xbox One or Xbox One S, it is just 720p 30 frames per second, and this is a huge step up in quality for 4K at 60 FPS. I mean, most like external capture cards don't even do that, and the ones that do are very exclusive and very expensive. So for a console to just do this out of the box, and just if you go, hey Xbox, record that, it'll record it at 4K 60 frames per second. Like, this is incredible and this is awesome. And it's also for streaming too, so if you have enough bandwidth, which you better have enough, you must have like Google Fiber or something for this, it will allow you to live stream at 4K 60 frames per second. That's awesome. So you don't need a separate device, you don't need a computer to handle everything, you would just have to stream it from your system. It's that simple. So this comes from Xbox Spain. Quote, Project Scorpio will be launched with several new games which will take advantage of its hardware. So this kind of confirms that there will be a bunch of games that are coming out built for Scorpio, that they won't be just built for the regular one and then kind of upgraded a little bit and tweaked a little bit later to take advantage of this new hardware, that they will be built to take advantage of this hardware. New games coming out will be made for the Scorpio and then kind of downclocked and just downscaled to the regular Xbox One and Xbox One S, so that way people who get the Scorpio will be getting the best experience possible with no compromises, and people with an Xbox One and Xbox One S will still be getting the same thing, just with a little bit less graphical fidelity. And along those same lines, the Middle-earth Shadow of War developer says that Xbox's Project Scorpio is, quote, everything they promised. So Shadow of War is the sequel to Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, a really popular game that came out a few years ago. And these devs are just saying that the Xbox One Scorpio is going to be incredible, that it's very powerful, and it just basically allows them to create an amazing game, amazing looking game, and just amazing games that look great and feel great and just are great. So this is exciting that lots of devs and stuff are getting on board with this, that we have so much leaks and so much information and stuff coming out about this system lately, and I'm really excited for it. Microsoft is most likely going to be announcing this thing really soon, so that's awesome. I can't wait for that. Microsoft has said that at E3 they're going to be focusing on software and games, so it's highly unlikely that they will reveal the Scorpio at E3, that it's going to be at an event prior to that. So we have like less than 3 months before it's guaranteed to be announced. So there you guys go. I'm super pumped for this. Tell me what you guys think of this in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.